Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm your host Jay Lee, and you are now tuned into I Just Think It's Funny How, the podcast where we get into all things culture, entertainment, and especially music. If that sounds like something you might be into, stay along for the ride. Welcome back. I appreciate you guys being here. I just want to say that. I don't want to set a trend or anything, but it was really hard for me to show up for myself today and show up for this podcast just because I've been having a really tough week with work. Everything stems from this job, and this job is something that I absolutely hate. I hate it. I hate all the people there. If anyone's listening from there, that means that I'm cool with you. That's the only reason that you know about this podcast. But I've been dealing with bullying, and normal me would get out of character and things like that. But in being an adult, you have to handle things a lot differently, handle things corporately. And let me just say it sucks because I just want to be my old self. And if anybody knows me and my old self, bullying sound like, girl, what? Turn up. You feel me? But I can't because I got bills. And the bills gotta be paid. Fuck. But yeah, just mentally that has been taking a toll on me. But other than that, I did have to remind myself, like, girl, what? This podcast is one of the only things that's keeping you going right now. One of the only things that keeps me happy. So I was like, plus, this will make a month of me showing up for myself. We're 4 episodes in, which makes 4 weeks, which means a month. So I wasn't going to let anybody take that away from me or the people who have been supporting me. So, we're here. Welcome back. And to be real, them bitches, that job is literally a stepping stone, and I'm just focused on all my creativeness and all my creative projects that I want to work on and really plateau me to the place that I want to be in life. The person that I really am. You feel me? So, anyway, in LA, the temperatures have been dropping. I've been feeling a little nippy outside, like I need a jacket. I've been seeing all the girls in their fall outfits, their sweaters, and their little cherry nails, and their pumpkin spice lattes, their mocha chocolate frappes. And for me, all that means is it's time to get into my fall music bag. And for me, that's always going to be running that Frank Ocean Blonde album back. What a good album. Chef's kiss. Huh? We did have a few projects that dropped this week. We have Future Mixtape Pluto, Lil Tecca Plan A, and then I'm behind on a couple of drops, Laila, Gap Year, as well as The Kid That Did by Babyface Ray. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with Future's project, which is called Mixtape Pluto. This has 17 songs on it with no features. Love that for Future. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I hated it. I listened to this project 3 times from the top to the bottom. 3 times in a row, trying desperately to find a song that I like. And I couldn't. Is it because I went into this project with expectation, with memories from the past? I'm not sure. But I did also listen to it again for a 4th time today with a person who loves Future, who is a Future stan. And I'm not saying that I'm not. I'm more into like Hendrix Future and like Drippin' How You Love That Future and Melodic Future and really all the Futures. I will wait for you. Future. What a time to be alive. Future. This I just could not connect with. And you know what someone told me? They said, Jay, you're no longer in college. You don't drink, you don't smoke, so maybe you can't connect with it anymore. And I was like, you know what? I can't even argue with you. But at the same time, is that not sad that because I don't do any of those things, I'm not in college, I don't drink like that, and I don't smoke like that I can't connect with one of my favorite artists? What is the world coming to? Let's dive a little deeper. I'm not gonna lie. If I had to pick one song off this project, it would be the first one. But is that not cheating because that's how you're supposed to reel your audience in? Anyway, it's called Teflon Don, and I just wanted to read some lyrics to you. All right, guys, this is Teflon Don, first song off the project. This song is produced by Southside, Top Peep, Mozart Beats, London on a Track, Desro, and FBG Goat. The lyrics begin, beat the first case like John Gotti, anything you want my dogs got. Be I'm a boss, I'll call the shots. Spend a few bands at the raw spot. Got the poppin' at the hotel. Ready run a play for a whole bill. For it, hit the plate, make the house smell. Throwing up trays in the Margiela. Once I'm in the chain, need an Advil, motion on motion, that's how I feel. Came from the field, I'ma crash first, make your mama cry, gotta hit it where it hurts. They come from my side, they gonna shoot up the church, Jesus. From 9 to 5, got 9 going berserk. I'm going on a mission, I'm staying alert, I'm the man on the streets, chop the top off the vert. I'm gonna just keep saying that I am a huge fan of Future. Like, Future has met me right where I am in all decades of my grown up life. Like, every era, every year of my grown up life, Future has been there. Like, but this one, I just really couldn't connect to this project. And I think I came into it with a lot of expectations. And when you do expectations, you're gonna either be met with those or not met with those. And I don't know if it was because I love Southside, but was it the production? Was it the mixing of the voice and the beats? I don't know. I just was like, pass, 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 skip, skip, skip. You can really, and I have my own personal opinion. I've seen people who love it and I've seen people who haven't. Then I wanted to ask myself, who does Future make music for? And this sound like he made music for like possibly college kids who are experimenting with substances. And that's just not where I am in life right now. And that's okay. That is okay. I then went on the internet and I was looking on a very popular like page about music drops and things like that. And I was reading some of the comments. I'm going to read some of those to you guys right now. I was so disappointed by this project. I get it's a mixtape and all, but there are so many weird stylistic choices that ruin some really great beats. I wish he would have delayed it and taken a bit more time to polish up the project as a whole. Album is good. This is the next comment. Fire, 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 fire emoji sign. Next comment. I'll get your words. I've listened to it and it's very skippable. Felt like a very rushed project, but it makes sense because it's a mixtape. Then we have people saying Pluto Ski is definitely a song of all time. Someone comments right underneath it. Legit, the worst Future song out. Not gonna lie. Next comment. Not gonna lie, it was boring on the first listen. Maybe it'll grow on me. And I'll stop right there. Maybe it will grow on me. Maybe it will grow on me as well. Next project. Thankyou. Next project. So, wanted to get into Lil Tecca's Project Plan A. This is supposedly his 4th studio album, serving as a follow-up to his September 2023 album, Tech. This project was actually really good. I was pleasantly surprised. Lil Tecca does have some like songs that I feel like are really good, but I was never like a Lil Tecca, like, I gotta listen to him. But I did want to give him a chance because, again, I do have a couple favorites from him. However, as I was listening to this project from top to bottom, I was like, you know who he would sound really good with? I was like, Don Toliver. And sure enough, he served me up a Don Toliver feature on this project. And it's actually one of the ones that did make it to my playlist. So I'm not going to get into lyrics or anything like that, but I did want to at least let you know the standouts of this project for me. I had about 4 that I did add to my playlist. I Can't Let Go featuring Don Toliver, Homebody, Flowers, and D1. Again, this project, I was pleasantly surprised, especially after listening to Future. And I do want to reiterate again, I am a Future fan. However, he said he was dropping a project. People said like, oh, Future coming out. So I did get my hopes up. And I'm a big advocate of, if you're going to drop a project, a rap project that is, at least make sure there's 1 or 2 songs on there for the ladies. It's nothing wrong if you want to, the whole project, I want to talk to the guys and I want to relate to the guys and rap. But I should have something I should be able to get ready to on this. You cannot drop, I will wait for you, and then think I'm about to just sit here and just accept what you just gave me. I'm not always turning up. Sometimes I want to be in my feminine bag, and I'm just used to Future catering to us, and I didn't get anything. I got nothing for this project. So I feel how I feel, and it is what it is. And that's on what? Period. Anyway, moving right along. Y'all know who did have a good project this month? Babyface Ray. He dropped The Kid That Did, and I am a little late to the party, but not too late. He released this on September 13th of this year. The Kid That Did captures Babyface Ray's rise from Detroit's underground from national prominence. Across 20 tracks and a runtime of 58 minutes, Ray reflects on his journey, his surroundings, and the struggles of making it out of his city. I'm not new to Babyface Ray, but I feel like this was a great project to kind of like put his stamp within the game. I've been listening to him since Mia season 2, which was dropped in 2019. Unfuckwittable, which was dropped in 2021, has so many songs that like I feel like for me kind of stamp like my listening experience with Babyface Ray. He has Forever on Unfuckwittable, Gallery featuring V's, Addy, Touchdown. Like literally every song on this project I love. So again, I'm not new to Babyface Ray, but I do feel like he had like a kind of a moment where he came from again underground to being more prominent, just like the description that I just read you guys said. And I feel like this was a good one. The songs that did stick out to me were scrolling. Count Money featuring Bossman D-Lo, Shy Kid, Cherish, and Stuck in My Ways featuring King Hendrix. He did have a few features on his album, and I do want to go over those. So for features, we got Count Money featuring Bossman D-Lo. We got Wave Navy University featuring V's. We got Delusional featuring Huncho. We got Cherish featuring DJ Esco. Stuck in My Ways featuring King Hendrix. 2 for 6 featuring G Herbo. Legacy featuring Doughboy Clay. We got Ghetto Boys featuring Peasy. High Off Life featuring Moxie Knox. Guardian Angel featuring Rex Life Rage. And Samuel Shabazz. And lastly, The World Is Yours featuring Fabulous and Rich Paul. One thing I can say is that Babyface Ray did hold his own, especially on that Bossman D-Lo track. Again, Count Money, which is track number 2. I'm not gonna lie to you. Bossman D-Lo got the game going right now. If you're gonna get a feature from Bossman D-Lo, you have to make sure that you're holding your own. Bossman brings the excitement. He brings the attitude. He gets you going in the car. And if you're going to have a feature, hold your own. And I'm just happy that Babyface Ray did. Because there is someone who dropped a song this week. I won't say no names. And I was like, I know you heard that. You ain't going to redo your verse? I'm just saying. Anywho, I just want to go ahead and say that if you have not tapped into Babyface Ray, now will be a great time to. He definitely stays in his bag as far as the sound of where he's from. He is from Detroit, and when you listen to his music, you get just that. If you don't know, every city does have its own style of music, and Detroit is no different. As soon as you turn on a project, you like, okay, we in Detroit, and I love that for him. Again, the songs that did stick out for me are going to be Count Money featuring Bossman D-Lo. That song go crazy in the car and while you're in the gym. Shy Kid, Cherish featuring DJ Esco, and lastly, again, Stuck in My Ways featuring King Hendrix. Check him out, y'all. All right, guys. Again, this month has been super crazy for music. We love. I wanted to go over one more project, which would be Gap Year. This is the project by Laila. Again, if you don't know her, she had a huge viral song on TikTok, That's Just Not My Problem. And she has been rising the social ladders. She's also Mos Def's, the rapper. That's his daughter. And if you put a picture of them side by side, they look just alike. So, yeah, I want to check out her project, and here are my thoughts on that. Just a little bit about her. So Laila Smith, born April 19th of 2006, professionally known as Laila with an exclamation mark, is a recording artist, songwriter, producer, and audio engineer from Brooklyn, New York City. She is also the daughter of Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def. Laila began her music career in 2023, releasing self-produced instrumentals and DJ mixes of classic R&B songs. Her earlier works, which feature remixes of tracks by artists such as Brandy, Aaliyah, and Flo Milli, can be found on her official SoundCloud page. In March 2023, Laila released her debut track Like That, which went viral on TikTok of last year, amassing over 15 million streams on Spotify. Her debut performance was also the opener of Tizo Touchdown's Spin the Night tour. Even more conveniently, the show was in her hometown of Brooklyn. It was also worth mentioning that all of Laila's songs are produced, mixed, and mastered by herself. We love that. I just want to say that when I first went into listening to this project, I had to keep in mind that Laila is super young. This is her first project, and I didn't want to be too rough on her. She did have a very huge viral moment. That's even how I knew who she was because of TikTok. TikTok and social media in itself, especially in this day and age, can have a huge impact on, eyes on who a person is. Like if you have a viral moment, you're shooting off to the stars, and girl, what you got for us? So I feel like that also added more ears, eyes, and if I would say pressure to what she was going to release. To get into the project Gap Year, this project does have a total of 17 songs, no features, just her. And I love how in reading the description about who she is and things like that, we got to see that, hey, she does most of the things by herself. She writes, she engineers, she produces, she does this, she does that. So that is the feel of this project. It really does give like, hey girl, I recorded this in my room and here you go. It does have a talent show theme. And I like that she, titled it Gap Year. From what I know, she did graduate and now she's focusing more on music. So this is technically a gap year for her. As I listened to the project, I didn't really find anything that I liked, but I will say that she does have such an authentic voice, such an authentic sound. And I don't know anyone who has her vibe right now, which is great, A lot of artists do sound alike, but Laila does stand in her own lane as far as contributing to her own sound, her own bag. So I'm excited to see where she goes from here. And just in knowing who her dad is, she probably doesn't really want to rely on other people. But I would love to see what a vocally produced album sounds like. What it sound like if somebody took their time with her and, developed her more as an artist. This is her first project, so I don't want to be too hard on her. But I did struggle, I will say, to find a song that I'm like, hey, I can put this on the playlist. The song that I did find, however, was track 17, Coupe de Ville. I feel like that was like her best song on the project. That's something I was like, you know what? I really like this. And I do have to, give my hats off to her because she got the lyrics together by herself. She produced a song by herself. She recorded herself by herself. That speaks for something. And not a lot of artists, even who have like more of an age gap with her, are doing that. So I will say like congrats to her for that. I did want to get into some of the lyrics from Coupe de Ville. She starts the verse 1 off as, will you write me poems about your luxury? Boy, your little notes detail how you're in love with me. Oh, how you're in love with me. The chorus gets into, I'm your golden Cadillac Coupe de Ville. I'll take you away. I'll take you through the hills. I'm your golden Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Verse 2, do you sell dope to get your luxuries? Do you hope to live your fantasies? How high? How high? Then she gets into part 2. I just want to love you more every day. I love you more and more. I do. I just say what I've been waiting for you. Waiting for you to let me in, and once you do, will that turn me up, baby? This song is just like, it's really the production of it all and how she kind of like gets into it, but I really do like this song off the project. Like not even, because I listened to it twice, the project, like through and through, and I was like, you know what? Cadillac Coupe de Ville, I like that one. Again, I do want to see someone like see her potential. She reminded me a lot of like early Frank Ocean, not fully developed Frank Ocean, but like I could see some similarities there in the sense of like she has her own original style. She's doing a lot of these things by herself. And I would love for somebody to pick her up. I know her dad is probably like uninvolved just because I'm just thinking back to like me as a teenage girl, like, I don't need your help. So I don't know if that's the vibe that she's giving off, but I would love for somebody to like see the potential in her and, let her blossom and let her continue to take the reign on things, but just help her kind of fine tune and polish her craft. But she's super, super talented. And again, it takes a lot of guts to even release a project. So shout outs to her. And for her first project, it was not bad. It just was like, you could tell that she did a lot of this stuff in her room and that she did a lot of it by herself. But it wasn't horrible. And again, I love Coupe de Ville. I will go ahead and drop that playlist for you guys so you guys can hear, like, again, some of the songs that I've been talking about throughout this podcast. But that song will definitely be there. All right, guys, that does wrap this week's project reviews for me. I wanted to go ahead and get into some things that are going on this week in the news on these little social little sites. Y'all know how much I don't really like them, but I did want to touch on a few things. I went back and forth and asked myself, like, dang, do I really want to touch on this? And then I said, you know what? I have to, because this podcast is supposed to be about all things culture, entertainment, especially music, and this topic has to do with just about all three. If you have been living under a rock, then you would not know that Sean Diddy Combs is actually being held under investigation, I should say, He is in custody for basically doing a lot of bad stuff to both girls and guys. We can't say he's guilty because he has not been charged quite yet, but just based on the video that came out of him getting very domestic with Cassie in a hallway of a hotel years ago, I would say that the odds are probably not in his favor, but that's not what I really wanted to touch on. And I literally just looked this case up, and yet another woman is accusing him of doing something like within the last hour. So what I wanted to get into and what I wanted to touch on is kind of near and dear to my heart is if you know any women in particular, not to count the men out and not to say what they went through is not just as traumatizing or serious, but if you know a woman who is in the music industry, check on her. Check on her and stay in touch with her. Have her back, because a lot of horrible, bad things happen to women who have dreams and who have dreams in this entertainment business and who have to jump through hoops and who have to ultimately protect themselves from people like P. Diddy. And I say like P. Diddy because he hasn't been charged of being guilty yet. And, you cannot hold somebody to the cross until you know exactly what happened. And we don't know all of the details. But if it is anything like the video that we saw of him getting very domestic with Cassie out in that hotel hallway, I just can't even imagine what went on behind closed doors. And I don't want to imagine. But I send prayers to all the victims, all the people who went through things. And yeah, if you know any women in the music industry, please check on her. And I said that it's very near and dear to my heart. I thank God I have never physically been through anything like that within the music industry, but definitely emotionally manipulated by men. And I could literally name only 2 people that I've ever encountered while doing music who have not tried to either get at me, get me to do something I didn't want to do. Just 2 people that I can name that I'm still very cool with to this day, that didn't try it with me and just genuinely wanted to do clean business, wanted to help me off the fact of, just sheer talent, and they saw something in me and it was strictly just music based. And that is sad. It is so sad. And it's a huge part of the reason outside of just other personal reasons why I ended up stop doing music. Like I just didn't want to do it anymore because the music industry is very dark. And again, I just want to say prayers to the victims who, experience anything, have to relive the stories, like with it all being on the news, blasted out everywhere, everyone talking about it. So I did want to handle this with respect, but seeing that this is something that my podcast is about, I did want to touch on it. Moving on to something a bit lighter, Skilla Baby got the girls a little upset with him. And let me just start off by saying we do forgive him and we're going to give him a second chance. But he basically went on The Breakfast Club recently and he said how he admits he doesn't even like songs like Bae or Mama, which are 2 songs that the girls really love from him. He said, but he knows that is what sells. And he also said that the song Mama was made to make fun of how Rod 49 talks. So that was in about June that he did that interview. And the girlies have been quite in a bunch, if you get what I'm saying. However, Teyana Taylor has taken on the role of being his creative director, which I love because she's worked with people like Summer Walker and Lotto. Anytime Teyana Taylor gets into her creative director bag and, helps artists out, it does nothing but help that artist blossom. And I really feel like this is one of her gifts that she is giving the industry. On top of her soulful voice, this is something that she is so good at. So there's currently a clip that's going viral of Teyana Taylor kind of breaking down the fact of, hey, like, it's low-key a blessing in disguise. You making music for the girls is not a mistake. And this is where you can take it. This is where you can go. And, Skilla Baby is listening to her and taking heed of what she's saying. My takeaway with this whole Skilla Baby situation is, A, I love his music. B, I feel like girls, we do need somebody to listen to. Everything is so rough and tough, and sometimes we just want to be appreciated. We want to be shown love. We want music to vibe out to. And realistically, as a man, do you want a bunch of guys at your show, like moshing, or would you like some pretty women who came to see you out there, who are vibing to your music? Like, which one more player? You feel me? Which one do you feel like is the better option? And I feel like men really miss the mark, especially rappers, when they feel like they don't need to cater to women. And again, we're going to forgive him. We're going to give him another chance. But I can understand as an artist wanting to make music like this and that's not selling, but the other music where I just made a one-off, everybody loves it, and now the label wants more of that type of music. Like, I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, like, it is needed, especially in this time, for men to make music for women as well. Like, what the world? All right, so I have just clicked on this toxic blog, child. And one of the things that caught my eye is it's basically giving us a ranking of the cities that are the worst to date in. Number 1 being New York. Second one being Los Angeles, which is where I am. The third one being Philadelphia. 4th being Chicago. 5th being San Antonio. 6th being Fort Worth. 7 being San Diego. 8 Houston. 9 Phoenix. 10 San Jose. I think that list is hilarious. All right, next up, I see JT celebrates the success of her first solo tour and gold record. Congratulations, JT. She posted and commented, completed my first tour and couldn't be more thankful. I'm so full of joy and I feel so responsible. Shout out to JT. Shout out to still going for something even when the odds are kind of in your head, stacked against you. I hope that this gives her the courage to continue on because we love you, JT. All right, guys, we have now reached the end of this week's episode. I thank you so much for tuning in to my podcast. I just think it's funny how, and I hope I was able to give you a laugh or at least a small distraction from your everyday world. And lastly, do me a huge favor and hit the follow button. That way you can stay up to date with the show's information and get notified when I post a new episode. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and scroll all the way down to the bottom, get into the show notes, get into the details of it all. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on TikTok. Email me if you have a song that you want me to listen to. And I left a little gift for you, which will be the playlist, my latest playlist. Go ahead and listen to that. And until next week, guys, have a good week. Hold it down. Don't let nobody bother you. And if they do, let them know I'm coming for them. Y'all have a good one. Love you. Bye.